For the debate, the Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I sometimes feel like I'm on a Monty Python rerun, for those of us who are old. This was the third party used to yell at me because I was politically interfering with the sacred Metrolinx plan, of which we could not touch a hair on its head. Your leader actually called me erratic and really unpleasant names that hurt my feelings, and I thought she was kind of a nice person. So she did that, and I've gotten over it, Mr. Speaker, but now you want us to intercede in Metrolinx to change the fundamentals and the priorities, which you now think are wrong-headed. So I would just ask the third party to make up your mind. Do you want us as legislators to be involved in determining transportation priorities more granularly, or do you want us to believe that we have the Ten Commandments, they're perfect, they're the Word of God, and we shall not mess with the order? I would suggest to you that there is a happy compromise, that we, the people in the electorate, should not become transit planners, but when it comes to economic and health outcomes, moderate and reasonable interventions make sense. So, Mr. Speaker, I have explained this a few times. Where do I depart with my friend from Davenport? And I go back to the member from Timmins, James Bay, who said that accused my friend from Thunder Bay Atikokan of having some nasty agenda that has something to do with him getting re-elected. Well, I have a friend, I have a sense that the people over there actually want to get re-elected as well. This seems to me to be one of the most parochial political issues. If there is anything issue that I think has been trivialized in some ways, not by the residents, not by the people who have those concerns, but by the third party, it is this issue. Mr. Speaker, I live half a block from the CN, CP, and GO main line. We have increased rapid transit there, the GO line, from 137 trains to 400 trains a day, increasing it to half-hour service. Those are not Tier 3 diesels that run at 25% of the emissions. Those are full, hard-on industrial diesels that go up and down those rail lines with the full weight of the freight system in this country. There are two elementary schools, Market Lane and St. Michael's, who have very young children as young as 4 years old, who go to school a half a block from a diesel train. It amazes me starkly, Mr. Speaker, that this party cares not at all. This is a party that today your leader announced will not support any of the recommendations in the Golden Report or the funding formula. This is the party that wants to defeat us in the next budget on the only funding $250 billion. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Good job.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
How embarrassing.
So what are we trying to do? We would like to electrify the entire GO system. We have said over and over again that the technology is changing. I have met with some of the folks and directly said to some of you, there is a Canadian companies like Hydrogenics and Ballard. We are going through a dramatic shift in the United States and Germany. That system, Mr. Speaker, is on-board electric systems that are hydrogen-based in many cases. We would refuel those electric vehicles overnight when we have an electric surplus between 2 and 4 in the morning. There is a study group going on right now between Metrolinx and that to look at launching a pilot project before 2017 on the Union Pearson Express line. We are hopefully within the 6 months have the viability. It will cost to operate those trains 40% less than the conventional train. The only proposal from the third party is an external gantry system that, as the member from Durham pointed out, would cost $1 billion. $1 billion, Mr. Speaker. So we would like to see aggressive electrification. We would like to catch up with the new technologies. What you've been proposing are systems that would almost double the cost of the existing transit systems. And, Mr. Speaker, we're doing Eglinton. It's electrification. They don't support that. We're extending Spadina. They don't support that. We have 15 different projects, and what the NDP are telling people is that it's a free ride. Garage sale transit. We're going to buy our transit equipment. It is a $50 billion capital. We have an opportunity historically between our two parties to actually complete the biggest transit build-up. And we will lose every vote in here, Mr. Speaker, because the third party does its deals with the opposition, the party that filled in subways, rather than negotiating an agreement with us to actually come up with a funding formula. And the leader of the third party, Mr. Speaker, never negotiates with us. She says to our leader, oh, well, you come up with another set of ideas on how to fund transit, and I'll tell you whether I like them or not. This reminds me of the deal, Mr. Speaker, the federal NDP did with the Tories that brought down a Liberal government on national childcare and national transit strategy. So you care about electrification, let's deliver electrification system for everyone. Start telling people the truth.
Thank you.